Okay, underlying energy is the Knight of Cups. Okay, water energy coming in straight off the bat. There we go. Nine of Wands coming up at the heart of the reading. Nine of Pentacles is the past. Who got this? I think Libra might have just gotten this in the past. Some of you might have Libra placements. We have the Emperor coming up in the present. The Empress in the future. Nice. So we have the Emperor and the Empress here. And there we go. There's those Eight of Wands. It feels like for a few of the... I'll keep these here actually because I've been clarifying a few of the extra cards. For everyone else, I'll do it for you too. So we have the Knight of Cups coming up here as the underlying energy. The Knight of Cups, the Knights always indicate progress, movement. The Knight of Cups is going to be movement or progress to do with your happiness, to do with your emotions, right? This person is usually handing over the cup of love or friendship. That's what that cup represents. In fact, sometimes the Knight of Cups can indicate a friend who wants to be more than a friend. These are general readings, so I usually try to, explain the energies in as general a sense as possible, because we can use the energies for whatever we want to use them for. I'll explain that later on when we get to the Emperor and the Empress. However, there is a kind of romantic or relationship angle that's coming up in this reading already. So it feels like in February, and we do have the Sun moving into Pisces towards the end of the month, which is a sister water sign for you. This could be someone who's offering you their cup of love or friendship, or you're willing to do that. The card that usually comes up at the heart of the, as an underlying energy is usually the energy of the person that I'm reading for. It does usually indicate that, but we'll see how it plays out. Now, coming up at the heart, we have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is a situation where, we're putting a lot of effort, a lot of time. Can be a defensive energy because this person is defending this Gate of Wands, right? And if you look at her, she's all bandaged, she's bruised, but she's still standing there. She's still standing strong. And that's what it says. It says you're not ready to give up yet on something. And that could be in general, like, you're not ready to give up on some kind of project that you've had, or relationship, or dream. Like, the Knight of Cups for me is the dreamer. And as much as, dreamers are kind of frowned upon and looked at as, like, get real, that kind of energy, I think we all need to be dreamers at some point. We all need to have a dream. If we're ever going to have any chance of that dream coming true, we need to have a dream first of all. So it may be now that some dream that you were almost ready to give up on, you're not ready to give up on it just yet. And that's what the Nine of Wands says. The Nine of Wands says that, why would you give up now? You've been doing this for so long. You've done it from the Ace to the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've gone this far. Why not just wait? You're almost there. The only card left in this cycle is the Ten of Wands. And I do find that usually when the Nine of Wands shows up, whatever you've been working towards, whatever you've been putting your energy towards, it does come back. It's almost there. That's why this card shows up to say, just hang in there a little longer. It's about to come in. This is something that you've worked very hard for. And it's the same thing that I told Libra, because they got this in the same place. The Nine of Pentacles is all about great abundance. Abundance that you have created all by yourself. Now, abundance can mean different things to different people. There's financial abundance, there's emotional abundance, spiritual abundance, abundance in whatever form. And I will say this, pentacles are usually something tangible though. Something tangible that gives us safety, security, stability. And what this person's done, this person represents confidence and independence. And that's what you've been. You've been working away at something independently with great confidence, and you've created this abundant garden, and it's all your own work. And this card says, enjoy what you've created. Now, some of you, this may be indicating that you have been putting a lot of effort towards work or a business, or, even if there's whatever you've been working on in your life, you've been doing it alone. You can be proud of yourself and you can enjoy the fruits of whatever labor you've been putting in, wherever it's been. However, each card has a kind of more positive and more negative meaning, like a darker and a lighter. It's a spectrum, right, of the energies and how we use them. So at the more positive end, this is about enjoying the abundance that you've created, enjoying this safe space, this beautiful space that you've created. But at the other end of the spectrum, it talks about that kind of security, that abundance, becoming a gilded cage. Now, I've seen this card come up in so many different scenarios. One of them can be, you might want to go and do something else. This has come up for people that want to leave relationships. I'm not saying that here. I'm not seeing anyone leaving relationships here. It's just an example, guys. So, if someone wants to leave a relationship, leave a job, they want to go and do something better, but it's like, oh, well, the money's good here. Or, our house is so beautiful. We live this abundant life together. But it's saying you have the independence, you have the confidence to go and do something else. That you might have this beautiful garden, but don't let it become your gilded cage, because there is a whole world to explore outside of that garden. Now, for some of you, I'm going to say this. Yes, this talks about the work that you've done. I get the sense for some of you that, for those of you that this is not a relationship reading for, there's some dream that you've had and that you'd almost kind of given up on this dream. And maybe you've been putting in work for someone else, but now you want to be your own boss, or you want to be the boss. Like, you want to be promoted to this boss position. Now, the reason I'm saying that is we have the Emperor coming up in the present, and the Emperor is the father figure, is the authority figure, the boss. And he is always in charge. He's always in control. Now, he gets a bit of a bad reputation, deservedly so sometimes, because he can be very stubborn. He's very stubborn, and he knows, he does his things his own way. That's the only way he knows how to do anything. But think about it. He's an emperor. He has his empire, and he runs it with an iron fist. That's how he gets things done, because he's able to really, go with what he wants. He can make a decision. He's always ready for action. He's ready to fight for what he believes in. So you've got this energy coming up in the present. That this may be you. Maybe you're stepping up and taking control. Like I said, some of you could be going solo, like, going out on your own. You've worked so hard for someone else. Now it's time you're thinking, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go be my own boss now. I'm going to take on the energy of the Emperor. For others of you, this could be someone that's coming in. We cannot deny that there is the Emperor and the Empress here, and they are the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So there is a relationship here, but it feels like somebody steps in and takes control. That's the Emperor, and he comes in first, obviously. Even though in the major arcana, the Empress comes first. She's the one that gives birth to the she manifests whatever is there, and then the Emperor comes in and takes charge, and he brings order to whatever has been created by the Empress. It's interesting to see that, the Emperor is here sat right underneath the Knight of Cups, though. So this is going to play out a few different ways. First of all, this could be someone, like I said, this kind of a romantic dream, or, whatever it is, whatever this person is dreaming of here, because they only have eyes for the cup. They're not even guiding their horse anywhere. Like, they're not even telling the horse which way to go. They just have their eye on the cup on their emotions, how they feel. And it might be that now that whatever was just a dream here, or just a fantasy, it's now become solid. That could be because of you. That could be someone else that's come in. This may be Aries. I mean, the Emperor is the card for Aries. So there could be someone of that sign with those placements coming up in the present for you. But there is a sense of control, a sense of taking charge, whether that's you or someone else. It's a general reading, so that energies can play both ways. What comes out of that in the future? Well, we have the Empress here. We have the Empress here. The Empress is about growth, about abundance. She's the master manifestor. I always say that. She can have whatever she wants. So as much as there was abundance created here, it feels like there's more. You can expand on this even more. The Empress energy, I always say this, she can be used, that energy can be used in whichever way you want. For some people, it's giving birth to new ideas. It's the creation. She is the card of creation. So some people are going to, think about parenthood at this time. We have the father and the mother. So we have this energy here. So, some of you could be thinking about parenthood at this time. Some of you could be thinking about expanding your business, getting more money in, more financial abundance. For others of you, you want more love in your life. The Empress can indicate a time when you're very attractive. She can attract whatever she wants to her. So that energy is available there for you to use as you want. And she sat right underneath the Nine of Wands. Now, if you think about it, the Nine of Wands, it is a defensive energy. This person is stood there in front of those wands, defending what is theirs, hanging in there. But that's not an expansive energy. And we have two nines here. So this is almost coming to the end of a cycle. So this energy is it goes by the time we get to here, because she's all about expansion. Look how relaxed she looks. The opposite of this person is just stood there all stressed out on God, right? And it's because of what happens here, because of whatever this Emperor energy is, whoever this is. This can be an older person. So there could be relationships with an age difference, especially think about, we have the Emperor here and we have the Knight of Cups here. So there could be an age difference here. And even if it's not a literal age difference, it feels like there's a difference in maturity. Not to say that anyone's like immature or childish, I guess. I'm not saying that, but it may be that, you know, this person has more is more dreamy, is more interested in kind of innocent pleasures, innocent joys, whereas the Emperor can be kind of rather serious. So I'm going to actually pull some clarifiers for these two and see why they're here. But let's look at the advice card or the crowning energy. We have the Eight of Wands coming up here. Now the Eight of Wands, it's sometimes called the arrows of love, but it's also about messages coming in, energies that come in very quickly. I always find this is like the minor arcana equivalent of the Chariot card for me. It's one of those because that speaks about momentum and energies picking up, and so does the Eight of Wands. Now, the thing with the Eight of Wands is, yes, we talk about messaging back and forth, social media, that type of, and it's doing something online even, like you could meet someone online. Or, you know, you might have had a long distance relationship, an online relationship, and now it becomes more solid, like with these two coming up here, something that you've put a lot of time and effort into, and you were kind of wondering, is it just a dream? Is it ever going to go anywhere? It feels like it does solidify here. But the Eight of Wands, when it was created like over 100 years ago, there was no social media. The messages were definitely not fast back and forth. So this does at its core talk about energies picking up, like things speed up, and that can be a little overwhelming, but you can trust it and you can go with it and make the best use of it. I always like how the wands are in formation, like they're not willy-nilly flying around everywhere. That would be chaos. This is not chaotic. This is straightforward communication, straightforward, like the energies are clear of what you can do. And wands are great manifestation energy, and they're very creative energy. There's creation all over this spread. There was something else that I was getting from this. Nope. All right, let's have a look. Let me pull a couple of clarifiers to clarify this Emperor Empress energy. I mean, they can, yes, absolutely be the same person. Oh, I know what I was getting. So the Eight of Wands, if you think about it, we have the Nine of Wands here. So this would seem to be going back a step, right? But I don't know. It's almost as if whatever led to this, the Nine of Wands, because you're almost completing. It's almost like you take a step back and have a look, like what's happened here? And it could be relating to this Nine of Pentacles energy, which is that, you know, whatever you've been doing, maybe you've been single, whatever work you've been doing, whatever this energy relates to in your situation, it feels like you might get some clarification on that. Or now, even though that's Pentacles can be very slow energy, now you start seeing the results of this, whatever this effort was that you put in. Now that's a tangible energy in your life, and it comes, you know, it's propelling you forward to go to something new, something more, right? And what I was going to say, with these two can be the same energy. It could be that, you know, because you take charge, because you take control here, you're able to expand and grow. We all have the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within us. Well, no, I feel like they are two different people, because the Three of Pentacles, which comes up here, it's about planning for the future. What action are we going to take? What are we going to do? And it's usually more than one person. And if you have a look here, which is kind of interesting as well, we see this kind of younger person and this kind of older person here. And so this may not just, I mean, if this is not a romantic situation for you, this could be an advisor, someone who comes in and gives you advice, which allows you to open up and expand your business, your work. But if you look here, this person's doing the work, and this person comes in to advise them on what changes need to be made and review kind of what they're doing. So this is about, what am I trying to say? This is about compromise sometimes, but it's about planning for the future, and not just planning, but what action are we going to take? What are we going to do? Pentacles are always kind of physical energy. Let's pull a couple more. The Hierophant. Okay, commitment. Right, so let's have a look. So I've talked about this. This is about planning for the future together. So this is most likely going to be, for most of you, two different people. And one of these, you know, obviously I feel is your energy, but it's going to depend on your situation, which one it is that you relate to, you resonate with. Now you have the Four of Cups coming up next. And I think it's a bit of a surprise. This Knight of Cups energy may be a bit of a surprise for some of you. The reason I say that is if we look at this card, this person is kind of looking at the three cups that are in front of them. And they look a bit nonplussed, like not too thrilled, not too excited by the options that they have. But there is a fourth cup that's coming in. Now, as much as this talks about being stuck in a rut, apathy, not really knowing what to do, nothing really thrills you that much, I do feel sometimes the reason we're only considering, or this person is only considering those three cups, because they've given up on the idea or the notion of this fourth cup coming in. And there is this kind of sense of being almost ready to give up on something. And it kind of feels like whatever that is, whichever area of your life that relates to, you're going to be proven wrong. That is coming in. It can be done, because the Four of Cups can show that sometimes, that, you know, something that we've given up on. That's why we're only considering these. Why are we not even looking around for the fourth cup? Because we don't think it's going to happen, you know, and so we're only considering what's before us, and we don't like any of those options. This person would have picked one of those cups if they were thrilled by those options. It feels like this fourth cup represents the Ace of Cups, which is, you know, a new start, a new emotional cycle that begins, a new shot at happiness, emotional growth, spiritual healing, spiritual growth even. So I actually like the Four of Cups, because it can be where there's an offer of love on the table. Yes, it can be that, you know, and someone's not accepting it, but I don't get that. Or it may be that this person's offering that cup and you're not sure what to do, but the clarifiers usually speak to something from the past. I get the sense that this Knight of Cups coming in is this cup that you didn't think you'd get, or you'd kind of given up on getting, or given up on giving to someone, right? Because what we have here is commitment. We have commitment coming in. If you think about it, we have the Empress is number 3, the Emperor is number 4, and the Hierophant is number 5 in the Major Arcana. So there is this sense of now you kind of know what you want. Now you kind of know what you believe in. This is that faith that you have. It's the traditions, the rules that we follow. I don't know who got this. I think it was Libra that just got this a moment ago. Sorry about the glare. Yeah. It kind of feels now there's commitment. And it again, like, you know, I'm sorry to keep repeating it, but this could be romantically, yes. This is one of the marriage cards that come up. It can also be commitment. We commit to a new company, some work. I'm sorry, this keeps flickering like that. So it's something that we commit to, and it's that story. And we decide, right? This can be like organized. This can be organized religion. This can be institutions of higher learning, companies that we commit to, marriage, rituals, those types of things. But it's something that we fully commit to. But it's only after we understand that that cup is coming in. And it's about planning for the future together. I kind of get the sense that even if someone is offering you something, no matter what it is, I mean, this can be an offer. It doesn't have to be of love or friendship. It could be like something that seems too good to be true. Usually when the Knight of Cups offers us something, it seems too good to be true. And that's because sometimes the Knight of Cups, he's so kind of eager and excited about this cup that he has, that he can say all the right things and he means them, but he just doesn't have the goods to back them up. However, I feel like with this planning energy and with the Emperor energy of someone taking charge, if someone can take charge of this, then yes, there is abundance here. And yes, then you can move forward. Then there's open communication. Then anything's possible. But there has to be communication. That's one of the key things here.